is your guy Shiva. So this is part of the video that I'll be making, a couple of minutes videos that I'll be making to explain like my philosophy on Monsterider. People can connect to this philosophy and have a community that share with these philosophies and connect their lives, or how it affects them. Monsterider, the philosophy behind it is that we all have a monster inside of us. That's a certain, basically. What I hate is some of these self-help gurus or some of these motivational speakers that try to propagate, oh, you gotta control this monster, or you gotta tame this monster, or you cannot let this monster go out like this, you gotta tame it. It's one side of the spectrum. The other side of the spectrum is, oh, you gotta unleash this monster, or let it rip, or let it cause destruction, let it cause chaos. Yeah. The other side of the spectrum. I'm somewhere here. I believe that you can be friends with the monster. Because if you try both sides of the spectrum, and I have in my experiences with my pursuits in my life, you might have won the battle, but in the longer run, you're going to lose the war. There's going to be devastating effects about it. So where I come from is basically acknowledge it. Certain words, have a communication with it, listen to it, have a dialogue with it. And then you can work together for your own benefit. Imagine that this thing is kind of like its own concept. It has its own conscience, it's its own entity altogether, right? Trying to control it, maybe you can control it for just a short while, but then what happens is, since you're trying to have a fight, it's gonna come back 10 times stronger. This is somewhere you won't be able to control it. And the other side of the spectrum is, if you let it loose, if you let it rip all the time, it's only going to hurt you more. Like I said, both sides of the spectrum is like, you won the battle in the shorter run, but then eventually you're going to lose the war. Let's think something in the middle. If you have the conversation, if you acknowledge it, if you acknowledge yourself, you'll find something beneficial, actually. Because when both sides are working in tandem, there is no frictional force inside of you. Whatever pursuit that you have is going to be accomplished in a flow, without any restriction. These are something that I have kind of felt and experienced throughout my life, throughout whatever I pursued, throughout whatever I experienced, through other people's stories, through other people's explanation of what they're going through. I came out with this imagination and this philosophy, and you can see that in a lot of ancient Asian philosophy texts, and a lot of the I'm not a religious person, so I'm not going to say, oh no, it's in a general understanding. We as humans have one fallacy, that we think we are rational beings, but we are not, because of how we deal with it. So for me, what I have tried to do is, I try to acknowledge it. I have to have a conversation with it on a fairly regular basis, so that neither I am putting kind of forcible control on it, nor it is controlling me. There can be disagreements, there can be the friction, but it has to be mediated through a conversation, through acknowledgement. And then is when I feel it can be a really resourceful thought process, or a resourceful thing, let's call it that, a resourceful thing for your life. It's been for mine, I can say that for sure. It's a constant, tough battle sometimes. But the idea is to work in tandem, and not work for or against. If I give you an example, the Native Americans, that you've seen in pictures and drawings, or maybe in still videos, you would see that they had an immense respect for all kinds of beasts. They would never put a harness on a horse to ride, but they respect the animal as they are. The animal respects them. So there is a relationship through that. And it's not just Native Americans, you can see that in a lot of indigenous tribes. The way they have a respect for the animals. This can be translated for us. And it all depends on how you can imagine this acknowledgement or this conversation with it help you. You know? That's what my philosophy behind the Monster Rider is. That you're the Monster Rider. Because the monster inside you is not something against you. The monster inside you is not something for you to control to the ultimate. The monster inside you is your friend. Someone or something that can help you with a really beneficial relationship. That's my philosophy behind the Monster Rider. If I would say there's another example, maybe a bit too tacky, but I'm a big anime fan. You can take the example like Naruto, and you can take the example from even Avatar and Last Airbender. Especially with Naruto, you saw the struggle, you know. Naruto always had Kurama inside of him. He was always trying to control Kurama. Kurama was really strong, really strong. And okay, maybe Naruto was able to control him once, but in the longer run, Kurama would always come back really nasty. The moment he became friends with Kurama is when it became a beneficial relationship. And Naruto wasn't peace. That is how also I look at it. I mean, same with Avatar the Last Airbender. Avatar was struggling every time with fire, because all the other elements were, you know, a little bit not that hard to pick up. The fire was, you can say it's a monster. The moment he started to look at it in a different perspective and have like kind of a relationship with fire, thanks to the dragons, they showed them what fire's actual meaning is. So they built a relationship with a little peace inside of them at the end of the day. And whatever they went around to achieve was quite possible because they were able to build a relationship with the monster. So that's another example that I always, talk to people about. Thank you again for your likes, for your shares. Please do like, share, subscribe my contents if you like them. And also a big shout out to my really good friend Siddharth Basur and his band Runt.
You just jammed the best music known to man.
So letting me use their tracks, you expect me to post a lot of different stuff with regards to my content and everything. Yeah, big shout out again to Siddharth Basur. Check his material out, an amazing singer. Check his band out, Runt. I believe he's gonna come out with a music video soon and probably another album. So yeah, be the Monster Rider.